Hi, and welcome to Run Tall with Tim. I'm Tim. Thanks for being here and spending a little bit of your day here with me. I'm glad you're here. On today's video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the latest release from the Brooks Blue Line Laboratories. These running shoes are called Brook Aurora BL. Blue Line Laboratories is where all the innovations taking place over at Brooks. They take the latest and greatest technology and they put it in our running shoes. It's the same group that brought us the Hyperion Tempo as well as the Hyperion Elite. So we're going to take a real close look at the Aurora BL to see where this shoe might fit into your shoe rotation. But before I get into it too far, I always like to demonstrate what it looks like to run in the shoes I'm about to review for you. So let's do that. But then when we come back together, I'm going to take a real deep dive into the Aurora BL to try to answer that all-important question: are these the right shoes for you?
Can't find a time where I can tell ya what I feel now. Been biting my tongue for a while. The words just wanna come out. I'm too afraid to be rejected. It's so expected. I feel like I'm out of my mind, but I know I can't deny you. I am so alienated, sitting on planet X. I'm becoming the person I've hated. Wonder what will happen next. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like a charge around us that just feels right. Can't get my head around it. I can never hit the brakes. Every time you touch me, babe, you send me right out into space. You send me right out into space. Right into space. I'm not the kind of person who is sentimental, but this thing is making me soft, giving into my damn heart. It feels like I am losing my grip, going crazy, 'cause this doesn't make any sense. You're broken down all my defenses. No way back to the old me, when I'm stuck here on planet X. I'll become the person I've hated. Wonder what will happen next. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like a charge around us that just feels right. Can't get my head around it. I can never hit the brakes. Every time you touch me, babe, you send me right out into space. You send me right out into space.
If you're new to the channel, I post running shoe reviews, comparisons, and shoe battles weekly, but I also like to post other videos about running as well. So if you enjoy watching running shoe reviews and other videos related to running, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time that I upload new content. These are a neutral road shoe that I did order true to size. However, I do feel like they run just a little bit long. I debated whether or not to send them back and order a half size down, but after running in them for a little while, ultimately I decided just to stick with my normal US men's size 9. Now there's good news and there's bad news. And if you're like me, you just want to hear the bad news first. In this case, it's the cost. Now they cost $200 US. And for a max cushion daily trainer, that's on the high side. Now the good news is they only weigh 8.4 ounces for US men's size 9 on my scales, or 238 grams. I think the first thing you notice about the Aurora BL is how futuristic that they look. Now, Brooks tells us that they took inspiration from the space program, and I can easily see that influence. So in terms of a wow factor, I just think that they hit it out of the park. These are definitely a head turner. Now the upper features a mono mesh material that's lightweight, it's breathable, it does feel a bit plasticky to the touch. On the inside of the upper, around in the toe box, they have some extra plastic material there to give it a little bit of durability as well as some structure. And then as we work our way around to the side of the shoe, you can see that they have these bands as well. And again, that's a little extra plastic material. Here it runs from the midfoot section of the shoe all the way up to the eyelet chain, and then from here, from the heel all the way up to the eyelet chain. Now that creates a nice saddle that gets you a nice good lockdown feeling across the midfoot section of the shoe. And then back in the heel counter, you can see that they have some reflective material there. The lace enclosure system features a classic eyelet design. You can see that there's no big wow factor here. They did continue that futuristic look with that plastic material around the eyelets to give it a little extra durability. And of course, they did include that extra eyelet in case you want to run with the runner's knot. And I always appreciate that. It's nice just to have some options. These feature a booty construction that's really comfortable on foot. So let's take a look. You can see where that material starts right up there at the base of the eyelet chain. The material itself, you can see, is kind of a quilted, padded material, but it's not heavily padded. I would say just moderately or lightly so. They do have this loop that you can run your laces through. They also have another loop here off to the side that you also run your laces through. Now that's to keep that material up and out of the way to make it easy for you to slide these onto your feet. And then there at the top, now this is a stretch band, so I almost feel like these fit a little bit like putting on a comfortable pair of shorts, the way that they design these. It's super comfortable, it's unusual. I've not seen a booty construction built quite like this, so I give them kudos for some innovation here with the construction of the tongue. And then you can see that material comes back all the way quite far into that heel counter area. So overall, I think they did a really solid job in creating a nice, comfortable feeling on foot with that booty construction. Looking at the padding around the heel collar and the tab of these, you can see that on the collar, they didn't really install any padding up around that area, but I still found them to be really comfortable for two reasons. One, you can see this orange strip here that starts in the base of the eyelet chain and then runs up around to the tab of the shoe. Now that's a felt material that's super soft to the touch. It feels really terrific. And you'll notice that they cut this area down quite low, so it sits down underneath your ankle just right. So I didn't have this rubbing up against my foot at all. So very comfortable. And then in the tab of the shoe, you can see that they do have some padding that runs right up the heel counter here. That's just enough to keep you comfortable when you're out running. And then also the heel, it features a slight Achilles heel flare, and that feels pretty terrific too. So let's check out the heel counter on these and see how much structure they have back here. And if I put this on my shoulder and give it the pinch test, you can see that there's not a lot of resistance there. It's pretty easy to pinch that together. There's a little bit more structure if I try to push forward on these, but not a lot more. Still, these feel really stable, and here's why. This DNA loft material, now that comes up pretty high around that heel counter. In fact, your heel sets right about where this line is here. So you have all of this loft material that comes up and wraps right around your heel. So that gives you a nice, stable feeling when you're out running. Now, Brooks did include a removable insole, and I always appreciate that. It's a little thing, but it's so nice to be able to just pull those out, clean them up, put them back in so you're good to go the next time. Or if you want to customize the fit, it just makes it a little easier to do that as well. Let's take a look at the midsole, what I often call the engine of the shoe, and this is where really all the magic happens. They feature their DNA Loft version 3 foam, and there's a ton of it. They have 38mm stack height in the heel and 32mm in that forefoot for that 6mm offset. Now they injected the foam with nitrogen that makes them ultra lightweight, and these are a maximum cushion daily trainer, and stack height doesn't always equate to softness on foot, but it does in this case. But I didn't feel like I was getting caught up in any kind of mush. These are still really responsive shoes. They have a lot of bounce to it, and I feel like the more you give, the more you get back, so there's a lot of energy return, and I felt like I was getting a little bit of help moving through my gait cycle. So let's take a look at the geometry of the midsole and all of the tech and the features that they built in. I'm going to start in the heel. Here we can see that they took their DNA version 3 loft material and they extended that heel out quite a way. So there's lots of material here to land on. It gives you a nice cushioned feeling. And then as we take a close look at the rocker, you can see that they have a pretty aggressive rocker design. It starts back in the heel and it moves all the way up through to the forefoot of the shoe. I think that creates a nice natural feeling as you move through your gait cycle. Now as we take a close look at the heel, we can see that they feature somewhat of a dovetail design here. Then the most interesting, I think, of all of the tech that they built into this shoe is this decoupled heel. And you can see that it moves independently of the forefoot. Now that gives you a unique run experience, but once you got used to it, it felt really natural and smooth through my gait cycle. Now as I flip these over, one of the first things I noticed is just how wide a landing platform you have. So let's take a close look at the forefoot, and you can see just how wide it is. And then that continues on through the midsection and all the way into the heel. Now that gives you a nice stable feeling when you're out running. So even though you have all of that DNA Loft version 3 material that's underfoot and how bouncy it is, it still feels inherently stable when you're out running. Now, since we have these flipped over, let's take a look at the outsole and see how they're protecting all that soft midsole foam that we have underfoot. And we're going to begin in the heel, and here you can see that they have it in some pretty strategic areas, those high abrasion areas where you're likely to see wear first. So there in the heel and then in the midfoot as well as up into the forefoot of the shoe. Now, by using it sparingly, they're able to keep that weight down. Now, remember, these are pretty lightweight for a maximum cushion daily trainer. So a men's size 9 came in at just 8.4 ounces, so that's pretty incredible. However, it does call into question just the longevity and just how durable these are going to be, because they did use outsole rubber material pretty sparingly. I do wonder just how long these are going to be able to last, but time will tell, so a lot more testing to come. So overall, I think Brooks did a really nice job. They brought some new innovations and some tech to their Aurora BL. And in this case, looks are not deceiving. You get what you see. So they look like they're a soft maximum cushion daily trainer, and that's exactly what they are. There's a lot of responsiveness in that midsole material, and that decoupled groove allows you to get a lot of flexibility and snap through your toe off, so they feel really fun and exciting to run in. I think for 2021, these have to be the most innovative and probably the most unique experience to run in shoes that I have experienced so far yet this year. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Can't find a time where I can tell ya what I feel now. Been biting my tongue for